Darren, I suppose the key for you now is just to maintain this momentum that you've built up in recent games.
Yeah, we've been talking about momentum going into the game, and any team or object carrying momentum, you have to apply force to stop it. And I think there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to try and apply that force, and it's important we stay solid, we stay resilient, and there was no different way to show that with Ryan Dixon scoring the winner on Saturday. We kept going to the end, so it's been really interesting.
It's difficult, isn't it, to break a habit, a negative one when you're losing games. It's tough to turn that around, but you could apply that to when you're winning matches as well. It's sometimes you can really carry that forward. I
think the players are showing they're applying a real force, whether it's the keeper, because he's still got to make saves, which he had to on Saturday. Fantastic saves. You got the back four that are working very hard, and as I said to you earlier, the left back scored in the 6-yard box the last 2 games, so he's applying unbelievable force, whether that's getting forward and getting back, because we're not conceding. But it's important that we don't become complacent, and I want to make sure I apply my force to the players, that we stay strong, we stick together, and that's been the message that I've carried out with the supporters as well, because we've all done this, all of us, and when we achieve it, it'll be a proud moment, and I want it to happen sooner rather than later, and the players can see that, and they know what rewards are at the end of it. So we must keep it going, stay focused, stay strong, and just make sure we complete this objective of keeping the fantastic football club in the league.
So in terms of avoiding complacency, that sits with you, does it? That's your job?
Yeah, I think it has been from day one since I've been a manager. I mean, I had to come in and think what changes I can make to create a winning environment, not just on the pitch. Off the pitch was massive. Off the pitch was more important than I think on the pitch. Then the next challenge was trying to get the supporters to believe, because that was difficult. I picture myself as a supporter every night, thinking what they've just gone through and what they were watching. And then how could I drive that through to the players about carrying a badge with pride and what it entailed. And so far it's come together, and I don't want to break it up again.
You're 9 points now above that League 2 drop zone. So from your perspective, are you still in a relegation tussle, or are you looking up now rather than over your shoulders?
I don't want to lie, because life sometimes has got a real bad way of kicking you in the teeth when you least expect it, and that can happen in any walk of life. But I have to say, I've showed the players off form since I've taken over as manager, and obviously showed them their home form, their away form, and when you start to look at that, it's quite powerful of what they've achieved, and I think it's important they focus on that. Everything's got to be positive.
So for you then, in terms of this relegation battle, do you still think you're in it?
I think it's one of them where the form that we're showing is a top 4, top 5, top 16. Certainly with the opposition we've come up against, some tough opposition, real tough to break down. They've been working together for a large amount of time now, which is why they're at the top. They got real good players, and so far every single game that we've played in, my players have stuck up to that battle, and sometimes, more often than not, shown more and applied more force, and that's really, really, proud moment.
The players surprised even you?
I think I've just tried to be myself. I keep going back to it. I think the car accident and the legal case is helped me massively, because I think both of those 2 cases are individual in itself, and I couldn't really say to you, look, this is how you get through it. I think you've got to experience that, and those experiences I've taken and tried to put into management, and try to give the players every bit of information that they need, win or lose, and how I can improve them. I said as a manager to them when I took over, can I make them win? Can I make them better footballers? Which is not easy, That's one of the hardest things to do. And am I loyal? And whether it be a player going out on loan, it's done for the right reasons. And I've tried to be loyal in every situation and merit every situation on its own accordance to the situation that arises. And that's one thing I think I've been okay with, and that causes the most problems with managers.
What are you expecting from Notts County this weekend?
They're a very experienced team, very experienced. They got very, very good players. As you all know, as far as the change in manager, it's not really had the impact that I think that they would all like at a fantastic football club like Notts County. But they're the ones that you've got to be careful of. And no doubt he's a fantastic manager, and he's setting a discipline and installing a philosophy into his team that perhaps has not quite come together yet like he thought it would do. But we've got to expect a real good team with good experienced players coming to play at Hewish Park, like has happened every week. And then it's down to us on our performance levels, and we make sure that we're professional enough to apply ourselves and what we've been doing.
Two teams, I'm sure, that given where they have been in recent years, would far rather be much further up the Football League pyramid than where they find each other or meet each other this weekend in terms of being two bottom half sides in League Two.
It's a fantastic football club. Notts County, when you look at it, the resources that they got, the players that they got, they're a big club, and it shows how difficult it is.
Does it surprise you though that they are where they are, given the resources they have?
I've got to be honest, I love this club, and it surprised me as to where we ended up, where we were in a short space of time, when Leicester went one way and we went the other way. So there's obviously reasons behind it, and the manager will probably be doing his best now to turn that around, like I've had to do.
For you now, how many wins do you think you're going to need over these next few weeks to mathematically secure relegation?
I don't want to give any points. I mean, someone mentioned 50 points the other day. I just want to win every game, and I want the players to win every game. I think if all of a sudden we sat here now and said, oh well, perhaps if we win the next two, it stands us in. Listen, they're footballers, professional footballers. If I said to the players, look lads, we'll look to win the next two and then we'll take it. No, I don't work like that. We'll see this job through till the end of the season, and if they apply themselves like they've been applying themselves, it'll be done sooner rather than later.
Any fresh injuries for this weekend?
No, we're all okay. I mean, there's one or two that have been in a position where they've been worked really hard. I mean, Mark Laird come back into the team and he's been running his socks off, and it's always difficult when you're not at a pre-season and then stick a viral infection on top of all of that, which has gone through the squad. It can be difficult, but the players have applied themselves in exactly the way I want them to, and at the moment everything's going according to plan, and I want them to keep that going.
Great, thank you.
Cheers.
Signed Leroy Leiter last weekend. Darren spoke about his fitness needed improving. Have you seen that over this last week?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's a fantastic character. You can see that he's trying to drive all the other players in training. I think he's desperate to get his chance, as with all of those front three, which is I've been selective, and I've changed two, and then I've changed the whole three. I've called it my elite three at the moment, and I want every single player there to try and get in that elite three, and hopefully he'll be there sooner rather than later.
And form's good, we've spoken about it, but you still want more goals from the team?
I think you've got to be careful, because when you go away from home and we've had the results that we've had at times, it's been good, it's been very pleasing because of but I think the forwards, if I ask them, they'll probably want more goals to their CVs, and that's down to them.
And assumably Leroy Leiter's the ideal candidate to bring those goals. He's got proven career scoring.
Yeah, he's got experience, and he needs to get up to the pace of what the way we're playing, and so far he's showing that.